up, motherfucker?
What's up? What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Okay, well, let's do a little review, I guess, of what we did. So for the past quarter, all right, for the past quarter, late February, early March, told you guys to get into oil. Not February, what was it? Late January into oil. So that was like a month before the whole war kicked off. And then I told you get in software 2 weeks ago, getting all that software goodness. Okay, so let's say you traded both of them, right? That's like about if you went from bottom to top exactly. What was that? 150% gain, right? So that's like compared to everyone else who stayed in the S&P, did nothing, everything went sideways. And only recently we've gotten a gain from October. So was it 1.5% on the S&P right now? If you just held it through October, didn't do nothing. Yeah, that's what you would have got. So that's it. The whole point now is to figure out, why I told you to do what I did. So that's why the first step, the first basic concept, I think I reviewed this at least a couple times, 3 times, 4 times in January, is to look at ratios, okay? So this is a ratio chart of XLE divided by the S&P 500. So XLE is the energy sector of the S&P 500. Okay? So this is a weekly chart. And from around the I guess end of 2022, so kind of like during maybe the 6th month, 4th month, 5th month, I don't know, of the war with Ukraine, energy started to lose its performance, okay? It already started losing the performance in June of 2022, so already maybe 3 months into the war, it was already losing steam, compared to the rest of the S&P 500. Since October, however, you see that the S&P 500 was outperforming energy. So anybody stuck in energy, it was going sideways. All the oil, natural gas stocks started going sideways. The S&P continued on going up because tech started taking over. So anybody staying in oil and gas was like started to go down or sideways, you know? So if you just stuck around oil stocks and you had just had a portfolio, tons of oil stocks, but you never cashed out, you never put that money somewhere else for about 3 years, you went nowhere with that money, pretty much, or you lost something, or maybe you just gave up some profit. I don't know, depending on where you got in with the oil stocks. If you got in oil stocks like early COVID, you would still be in profit, but it's like you're just losing profit or not making any more profit. Time is money, guys. 3 years is a lot of time. Okay, you could have went to gold, silver, and then the next 3 years it would have went up somewhere, or you could have went to tech and then jumped into gold and silver in the last minute and made better money. Like you got to keep moving around. You got to keep moving around because this is the great time to move around because the stock market is so volatile. Like you see, like semiconductors last year up until January was the best play, from April. Okay, so let me show you that. All right, so let me show you that next. But the thing you want to look at is like, how do I tell it's about to break it? Because there were several times it was going to break. Like you see here in October 2023, it looked like oil was starting and natural gas was starting to get back, but whoop, nope, it came back down. So it started underperforming again. Then it was like, okay, I'm going to outperform now. Nope, go back down. Okay, I'm going to outperform again, go back down. So 2023, October, April 2024, and then March of 2025 It looked like it was about to get slammed back down. Now, how could you tell that this time was different? How could you tell? Right? That's the question everybody would ask. Like, how do I know for sure I'm getting in and it's actually going to continue going up and not getting tricked again? Because how many times people got tricked? They got tricked a lot and they didn't believe oil was going to go up this year. A lot of people didn't. Okay? They did not. One day, the Friday before the war started, JP Morgan said oil was going to stay, crude oil was going to stay around 50, 40 to 50 or $60. Actually, December, they said it was going to go back down to like to even lower $40 a barrel, right? 30 to 40. JP Morgan was telling people that. You believe JP Morgan? I don't. So that's one thing I was I was like kind of interested in here. Is like, oh, they keep thinking it's bearish. Well, time to be bullish then. You know, those banksters, you trust in those banksters, what they say, you're going to be on the wrong side. So, anyhow, there were some clues. There were some little clues here. You could see this. Like, if I look at this indicator here, um, this is the ADX. Like, I could see this thing coming back here, up here, you know. So, in December, it started rising again. So, that's different. That's different. Every other time it went above, it went right back down. But this time it went up. It kind of went a little bit lower and then started going back up again in January. So it's kind of like, this looks interesting. Right after New Year's, it's starting to get better and better. So that was one clue. That's definitely one clue. So there are ways to look and see if there's some difference between here, and what we saw in late December into January. So that's one way. You can look at it from a technical way, okay? And I showed you so much other evidence, right? That's not technical. It was like you looked at the futures market, you could see like a lot of buyers from the oil companies were not hedging anymore. They were like really no longer hedging. That was a big signal right there. Like the big oil companies, the big traders, they were like, nope, we're not gonna short oil anymore because they usually have at least a minimum amount of shorting they have to do for protection because shorting the oil futures is insurance for them. So anytime oil prices go down below a certain level that they don't like because they'll start losing money on their businesses, they have to buy insurance and they have to protect themselves. So just in case oil went below $50 a barrel or 40, they would put shorts on the futures at those prices. Okay? But they didn't do that anymore. They were like reducing their numbers of shorts because so all the oil producers were already going into New Year's and then past New Year's, they were saying, we don't need the insurance. That's very confident. Why would you do that? Like, it's like me saying, like, well, I'm just going to reduce my car insurance policy because I just don't give a F. Like either I believe that like nobody's gonna hit my car and I'm gonna eat the loss. Like, you know, do the bare minimum car insurance. I do the bare minimum car insurance on my beater cars. That's why I love having beater cars because if they hit my car, I don't care. I don't care about it. It's done. That car it was gonna be a lemon anyway in a few years. You hit my car, you trash my car, I don't care. The only insurance I get is like if I cause bodily damage, right? If I like hurt someone. But if you damage my car, then I eat the loss. But I don't care. The car was worth less than like 10 G's anyway. I don't give a fuck. 10 G's ain't anything. So that's kind of what they were behaving like. So what was going on there? Either they were being reckless, I doubt it, or they knew something was going to happen. Okay. Anyhow, that's one way of looking at it. Okay, let me read. What's going on here? They want that oil war economy Pentagon. Yeah, I heard about that. What's up, Coach? KL. Yeah, what's up, Eric? What's up, Tropes? Okay. So glad. Yeah. You know, that's why gold when it goes sideways, I don't know what it does. It's just like I don't want to trade that thing. Honestly, there's so many easier things to do. Like, I just go for the easiest thing to do, you know? I don't need I know gold is exciting when it goes up and down, but if I don't, like, really know how to time it, I'm not bothering to play it, like, that long. Like, I'll play it for, like, a little bit, but nothing serious, you know? But when you do something else, it makes more sense than you'd rather do something. Don't make your life harder than it needs to be, right? Going to Oracle and you could have rode that for like 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever percent. That like that's way easier to understand than gold and silver and man. Uh, I know the boomers they like to trade currency too. Currency trading is the worst. It's like, what the hell? It's like all you're doing is like trying to like measure how much okay, like currency, okay, it goes up and down by a penny, and then you're trying to like bet on that. It's like, what are you doing? That's just noise, man. Like boomers love currency trading back in the day. That was like their thing. Um, and everything was leveraged up, so you would make a lot of money or lose a lot of money just doing that. Okay, so the other thing to watch was semiconductors, right? So let's look at semiconductors divided by the S&P 500. So you can see most of the time since 2021 really wasn't really doing too much because either it was matching the S&P 500 going down, going back up compared to S&P 500, a little bit more juice in 2023, but then it went back down. So most of the action was during COVID, you know, so between the COVID stuff and 2021, the peak of the tech bubble in 2021, when the COVID, all that COVID stimulus stuff kind of died out, and then after that, it was just like, ugh, I don't know what to do now. The easy money's been made. Actually, the funny thing about it, when you look at that, like if you look at semiconductors, like look how it acts and behaves into COVID here. Like it matched it, you know, it matched the S&P 500. There was no pullbacks. Like they really stayed in semiconductors, honestly, compared to anybody else. Like you see this huge run up in April 2019, a year before, and it went down. But after that, it was like people always bought semiconductors. They love buying this stuff. And so even during COVID, like even when the market went down, semiconductors really just like whatever, it just followed it, you know? But the rest of the time, though, you see, it's like it stopped really outperforming now because most of the time it was trying to outperform. And then you got into the Ukraine stuff, the interest rates going up, and it got punished for that. But after that, okay, it's going up again, going up again. Then you got the yen carry trade. This was 2024, punished, punished, punished. And since then, in July of 2024, it was underperforming the S&P 500 until the tariff tantrums. Then after the tariff tantrums, it just went like a rocket. You see that? So that's why I just stuck with semiconductors. It didn't matter if it pulled back. You just buy it again. Pull back, you buy it again. Like it's still look at it now. It's just semiconductor. They just go right back to semiconductors. Like they don't care about any other sector. It's like always go back to semiconductors. Always go back to semiconductors. Now watch what I do when I do software. Way different picture, right? Look at that. Look at software. It's either like performing the same as the market, underperforming, a little bit overperforming, but then it performs the same as the market. But look at what happens during June. It starts going down, and then July, it goes down more compared to the rest of the market. Then September, it's just like, ugh, it just starts puking. So when you look at it like this, why would you ever want to be in software? I would rather be in semiconductors. N- do not buy the dip. Do not buy the dip. Do not buy the dip. Because when I just look at software like here, it looks a lot different, right? It looks a lot different. It just looks like, oh, I'm just treading water, and then this year I puke. But it really did not look attractive at all since COVID. Like if you look at compared to the S&P 500, like I would just rather buy the S&P 500. I don't want to deal with this. This is pathetic. This has no edge here. There's no outperformance. Why would I buy any software company? I could just buy S&P 500 and buy and hold and not think about it. I don't want to buy something that underperforms. So this is what people do. People always compare whatever they buy to the S&P 500. If I can't beat the S&P 500, I don't get paid. This is how people think in Wall Street. I get paid when I beat the S&P 500. If I can't beat the S&P 500, nobody would let me manage their portfolio, because I can't charge you a fee if I am performing at the same way as the S&P 500, and definitely nobody is going to pay me if I perform worse than the S&P 500. It doesn't matter if like, oh man, in 10 years these companies will be great. They don't care. Every quarter they look at you and go like, did you beat the S&P 500? Did you beat the S&P 500? If you can't beat the S&P 500, we fire you. That's it. You get fired. So if you work for a company that manages a portfolio, if you can't beat it and you just buy all these types of stocks and it does this, you're fired. Okay. So the title of the stream is like, how do you tell what's the turn of the tide, right? How do I know when to get in though? Like, is this the beginning of the change in character? Will this be the end of software underperforming? And now it kind of looks like how semiconductors looked in last year going into April of 2025, right? You look at software, it's going flat, it's not doing nothing, and then it starts puking. Okay. Now, after that, semiconductors outperform. So when I look at the ratio, right, it's underperforming. Now it's starting to change. And then since May, it started really going. And then June, you finally realize, okay, now in June, I realized semiconductors is going to outperform because now it's starting to move like this. So we want to figure out, is this the beginning of the change? Is this the beginning of the change? It's starting to change. And by June of this year, it's going to be outperforming. And then people are all going to run into software. They're all going to run into software. They're going to chase it. Once they chase it, it's going to keep pumping. You see? Like all the late comers, they come in and they start chasing it. They pump it more. So then it's all psychology. It's like, I don't know what this software company's worth. Warren Buffett doesn't want to buy it. Like Warren Buffett will not buy software, even if it's down here relative to S&P. The valuation of software companies is still way too high for Buffett. But if you're just a trader, you don't care about valuations. You just look at psychology. Psychologically, this is terrible. This is like everyone's running out of there. Everybody doesn't want to touch this stuff anymore. Now they're on the wrong side of the boat because now it's changing. So that means we got to get in there because now it's going to be the next one that's going to go up in the next year. See? That's what we're doing. And that's how you make the money. It's all psychology. It just depends on how much I want to pay for something compared to someone else. I'm willing to pay for it at this price. I don't know what it's really worth. It's just whatever the price it is exchanging, right? Which line is it? It's the candles. It's the candles. This stuff is the moving average. Okay, let me get rid of that then. Okay, just look at the candles. That's it. Just look at the candles. This is the ratio. All right. Okay. So you look at semiconductors, look at this, right? Ratio. This is a ratio compared. Okay. You see that? It's underperforming since July of 2024 into April. And then it started turning. Now I want to see if this is starting to turn. Are we ready to turn? Is this the beginning of everyone running back into software after they sold over here? All the people that bought here, they're gonna see this go back and they're gonna buy in, right? They're gonna keep buying. They're gonna keep they're gonna keep chasing it. And that's it. That's how you make money because they're morons. All these people are morons. And as there's so many morons out there that's easy to make money. So as long as more suckers are born every minute, I can't stop them from being suckers. I might as well take advantage of it because JP Morgan goes on CNBC, says blah, blah, blah. They do that. They follow whatever JP Morgan, Charles Schwab, all those guys, they talk on CNBC, whatever they say, and they follow. And it's too late. Once they say something, it's too late. Or they're lying to you, or they're trying to do whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't. That's why I just look at charts. I just look at it. There's no bias here. I just see this. I know what's happening. I see what's going on. And so if we look at semiconductors, right? We just look at this. It looks crazy. It looks crazy. But if you look from maybe 2024 January, right? It goes up one more time into June and it goes down. People didn't even want semiconductors here. They were all going to software here, probably. They were thinking like, oh, semiconductors are boring, going to software. And then when April hit, they just bought more software. But the real place to be was semiconductors because now it was undervalued, right? It went as low as October 2023. Pretty much nearly as low. And then after that, it just rocketed up. And then if we just look at IGV, so this is not a ratio, right? It's now, it went below what it was in April 2025, July 2024, May of 2024, April 2024, January 2024. So it's never been this low since then. It's probably just going to rocket back up. So, and then once it gets back up, it's going to go higher because everyone who sold here at a, or they sold here at a loss. Like let's say someone sold here at a loss because they bought here, or they sold here when they bought here, right? And then it goes back up to here, and then they're going like, what the fuck? It's going back up, and then they just start chasing it because psychologically they have some kind of like, you know, they just have some predisposition because they remember what they lost, or they remember where they got out because they have a bias now, right? They remember this time and they're going like, what? This thing is going to go up? Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's see. So this chart is different than if you just overlay. Yeah, correct. It's just the ratio, correct. So you just take this on TradingView, divide by SPY. Yeah. So people call it like relative charts or whatever, but yeah, this is what people do all the time to track the relative performance. And I could do the same thing with gold too, right? I can just take gold here, divide by SPX or something. Here I take gold, right? Here, see? You see this? So gold has been underperforming the S&P 500 since 2011. Okay, 2011, down, down, down. Why would you buy gold when the S&P 500 goes up faster? And then it started like performing the same as the S&P 500 roughly here until 2020. Then gold started going up. That's when people were thinking like, oh, gold is going to outperform the S&P 500. Wrong. It just went back down. And then it started going back up in 2023. It went back down. 2023 again, went back down. So here was more interesting, right? I was like, oh, okay. In 2023, it's still going sideways. It's not going down anymore. So that's when I started telling people, you know what? Just start putting some of your money in gold and silver. Okay. And then 2024, it's like, okay, late 2025, 24, it's trying to go up. And then early in 2025, it started moving up. It's outperforming the S&P 500 now in 2025. Okay. If I just look at gold by itself, it already started moving, yeah, up here in 2024. It started breaking out. Then it started moving up. So it started moving up. So when you look at this, it looks a lot different, right? It looks a lot different. But again, I have to compare with the S&P 500 because the S&P 500 is the benchmark. The stock market in the United States gives you good gains every year, pretty much on average, about a 10% average. Okay, compounded annual gains. Okay, about 10% every year, roughly. That's very good. Okay, most stock markets would envy that. Most of the world's stock markets don't even act like that. So when gold is doing this thing here, just being boring, you're wasting time. You might as well just stay in the S&P 500 and then wait for the moment where it's ready to break out. Okay? So, yeah, ratios is one way to do it. So I hope you understand. I think it's very easy. Okay, so let's see how much time I got. So that's all I wanted to talk about mainly. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know. Looking at the S&P, the semiconductors. Let's see. Are we at the end? So we had our earnings. We had TSMC. We had ASML. They both went down after earnings, but people keep pumping other stuff in the semiconductors to make it go up. Broadcom went up while ASML went down, so that stopped it. I saw today, well, basically yesterday, if you're in the East Coast, Central Time or whatever, what was it? I think they were pumping AMD. AMD was being pumped while TSMC was going down. So I think right now, nobody knows really what to do. We have options expiration tomorrow, but it's not a big one. Okay, it's not triple witching. It's not a quarterly options expiration, and so it's probably not gonna be a big event. But I don't know, because we're very far away from the max pain. We're very far away. A lot of the indices are very far away from the max pain. Uh, I I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if tomorrow all of a sudden all the stocks just went down because of some kind of stupid news. It wouldn't be very hard to push it down if they wanted to. So if early in the morning you hear something and then all of a sudden the market just tanks, I wouldn't have been surprised because everything now is way above the max pain. Okay, so that's something to watch out tomorrow. Netflix did report earnings after the close. It's down 9%. Netflix isn't a big stock though, okay, compared to everyone else. But it is the biggest earnings that people will watch this week, okay? And again, I warned that the way they were acting, they were pushing this thing right up into this resistance. And I would not have been surprised if it just pukes after. And it's like it's ripe, okay? It's just like, okay, you want to puke? Okay, puke then. I wouldn't be so shocked. But will it drag the rest of the market down? I don't know. I don't know if Netflix is like that important. Okay, not like Intel. Like if you get Intel to crash, see, yeah, they pumped up Intel too with AMD at the same time. So they're trying their best to keep like the S&P from doing anything crazy. Because if anything's going down, they'll pump something else on the other side to make it go up. So it's like, what the hell is this? Like, this is something, right? They're just like, okay, yeah, keep buying Intel at 68. Like, where were these people when it was like below 30? It's like, what are you guys doing up here? It's like you're already at the top from 2020, 2021, and the dot-com over here. So 2000, the highest Intel has ever been, is right back up there. Okay, all right. Okay, guys, this makes me very suspicious. Uh, yeah, this is suspicious as hell. Crack. One thing I noticed today is that several of your Saha ticket picks had. Yeah. They do. They will go toward together eventually, because if there's no news really, when one of them pumps, then the others will start pumping just for sympathy. Because you have to remember, all these things are tied to ETFs. That's why ETFs matter. Uh, so in the 80s, options markets were not a big deal. They were just like they just started making options around late 70s or something. And then the 80s, more people got into options because there was computers and then more people got into it because, oh, look, I got a computer now, I got a IBM PC, I got an Apple IIe, and now I can use that software to compute things, because before you had to know a lot of math to do options. Now you got a computer, so now dumbasses can just open up their software and be like, hey, go, yo, computer, figure out which strike price I should be at, and what blah blah, and analyze all the calculus here with your Fortran. So once you got computers, all the dummies got in, and then it just like, okay, options became more interesting, and then that's why you had the crash in 1987, because everybody was starting to use computers, and then they were just like pumping stocks left and right, and yeah, so that's what caused the crash back then. It was just a computer stuff, and in the 90s, once we had online trading, it became even more popular. So E-Trade was the first one, right? E-Trade introduced online trading, and then more people started doing this. They were like, oh man, I could go buy stocks on the internet. Hell yeah. And then more morons got into the stock market. And that's why you got the 90s, you got everything pumping. Okay. ETFs weren't introduced until late 90s. And then it only got more and more popular into like the late aughts, early teens of 2010s, right? And now everyone uses ETFs. And so that's why all these software tickers, they start moving the same. They start moving the same. Yeah. So if you do IGV, right? When they stuff like a bunch of companies into the IGV, then when people will just buy the IGV. They're not gonna waste their time studying stocks like people did in the old time. You see the volume here in the IGV, way larger than anything before. Somebody's getting in here. And also ETFs provide a lot of liquidity because so many people play with ETFs. The big guys, they they have a hard time buying and selling individual stocks because the stocks themselves don't have a lot of volume. Then what they would do is they would use the IGV instead of using the stocks themselves to get liquidity, to get in and out of certain positions, okay, or gain exposure and leave exposure. So yeah, that's what's happening now. ETFs are really, and that's why Michael Burry says like the ETFs are what's going to cause the next big crash. I can believe that. I can believe that because so many people have the mentality of buy the dip, passive investing, passive investing. So they don't even study stocks anymore. They would just be like, well, just I want software, just buy IGV. I don't want to know what Oracle does or what this does. Who cares? And so that's what starts happening. So that's why they start moving up together, Oracle and all the other ones. So there's different types of software ETFs you can go into. You can go hack. So this is cybersecurity. You could do sky, cloud. You could do. There's so many ETFs made all the time. And FDN, which the WebL ETF follows, is like communication. So it has a little bit of the software, but also communications. This is why I recommended WebL, because WebL, you wouldn't. It's not as exciting, but it's kind of safer, And then you have the AIBU, which is like more software, but also has a little semiconductors to protect you. So yeah, I mean, you could have had like if there was like a leverage IGV ETF, I would have told you guys like to get a little bit of that, but you see, like it's more dangerous, right? But yeah, from near here on out, it's gonna keep going up higher. I think if it's actually changing there, yeah. You think Intel is gonna puke? Yeah, it's going to have to test it into earnings for sure. So I mean, I don't think it's just gonna break out. Okay, I don't think it's just gonna break out, dude. This is gonna retest again. It's gonna go back down to 50 at least for sure. I use the portfolio basket feature to combine nine so it just only four really pumped in the last few days. Yeah, yeah, they'll change, you know. Things will change. Like they're each of those individual stocks will hit some of their own individual resistances and they'll stop eventually. Only like Oracle and Cloudflare were like the ones that just kept kind of going up. Um, but yeah, the rest of them stopped pretty much. Koru. Koru. Oh, you mean this? You mean you mean you're playing the South Korean? Oh, this was dangerous. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. I could This was dangerous. Fuck this one. Oh, this one. Um yeah. Well, yeah, I mean South Korea yeah, better be careful. It's about to hit the resistance here. So Koru is 3x EWY. So EWY is almost going to hit resistance. So Koru ain't going to go much up further. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Ah, my god. Oh, you're not in it. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a fun one to play with, but uh eh. Yeah, South Korea is too dependent on oil. I don't know. I don't know. Right now, with all that drama, I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely fun to trade. I'm sure. I'm sure people are trading that shit. All right, guys, that's all I got to talk about. I think. I think I covered what I needed to cover, and then we can, yeah, go back to it. Should have been a year ago. Well, you know, a lot of international stocks I did like, but since the drop here, you know, we can compare like, okay, let's do SOXL compared to Koru. Let's do the two leverage. Okay. So for the most part, between April and December, semiconductors perform the same as Korea. Okay. Only very recently, from January into February, did Korea outperform semiconductors. So for the most part, semiconductors and Korea are tightly correlated, which makes sense because the Korean economy is essentially the AI economy, making chips. So it would make sense for them to correlate. Now, why did Korea just explode from January onwards? Well, it could just be a currency thing. Like I said, a lot of these stocks, when you buy international stocks, you have to also consider the dollar effect. If the dollar is doing something right, then it's going to affect its attractiveness. If you look at the dollar got weak in mid-January. Okay? So that probably got a lot of investors excited about buying Korean stocks. They would got excited buying Brazilian stocks or Mexican stocks, any stock that was not in the US. So if the dollar gets weaker, then, you know, it looks more attractive to certain people to buy Korean, Mexican, Brazilian stocks. So you get that add-on effect. So Korea starts diverging from the US stocks, right? So that's probably what caused this. It was just because of currency. It had nothing to do with reality. Okay? So that's the problem with buying international stocks is that you not only have to pay attention to how companies do, but you also have to care about like the interest rates, the currency, forex exchange. So then it becomes like dealing with a lot of factors that, you know, you don't really understand probably. And that's probably what caused this last minute blow up here. But for the most part, if you bought semiconductors, it's about the same, right? If you just look at semiconductors, it's like yeah, it looks pretty much the same. Okay, yeah. So that's pretty much why. Now you understand. So you were thinking we test into next week? I think we have to. Yeah, we have to test everything now. This is the initial move we have to test. I mean, we're already at 7,000 on the S&P 500. That's a big psychological number too. Okay? Like everybody's screaming buy, 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 and it's just like, what the fuck? Where were you guys over here? You guys were telling us sell, 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 sell. Now you want to buy when it's already a little bit higher than it was like in February. Like, what the hell? I ain't buying that. I ain't buying that. For all I know, it's just gonna crash right down to 6,000 or something. I don't know. It's like, come on. No, so you have to be a contrarian. You can't follow the crowd. The crowd is always stupid. I ain't trusting them. Sometimes they could be right, but most of the time they're stupid. So I'm going on that theory here. So yeah, sure, buy this. It's just a little, you got the tip of your dick hanging right there, just above where we were in October. Sure. Yeah, buy that. You buy that, and then all of a sudden, boop, circumcised right down back to the bottom of this box. There you go. See? That's what happens. You stick your dick a little bit out here, bam. Bam, the rabbi comes in and snips it. That's usually what happens. I played this game way too long. I know what's going to happen. Come on, fuck that shit. Man, come on. I've seen this movie before. All right, good. So let me see how much time we got left. I wanted to play some clips, man. So we got some fun stuff. We got some drama here. Man. Oh yeah, we got some drama. Let me. So Hurricane Parl's been causing a lot of drama.
Fuck is genetic.
That son of a bitch put me in the back just because I take shots at Grace once again, because Grace still talking shit, while meanwhile she's the same woman who got her ass beat by Ruby and called herself a pussy on Jack Simcut's panel. And speaking of Jack Simcut, shout out to Jack Simcut, known as Jack Talkcut, for timing me out on his chat like I give a fuck. Plus that episode was pointless anyway.
Wait,
you have Ruby Space Cake on the panel. I won't be surprised that Jack Simcut was jerking off while Ruby was on the panel. Like, he's the type of guy that, when he's on the panel, he plays with himself until he comes while having women.
Oh my god!
He's the type of nigga that does that. I don't have an issue with you. Hey, I'm just saying, Resto. I'm just saying because after what I went through, I don't even know who to believe anymore. I don't even know who to believe anymore. Like,
dude is off his meds. Okay.
Hold on. Like I always keep telling y'all, never trust motherfuckers that don't believe in their words. Cockadox is the master of saying, I don't listen to women. I don't believe in women. Well, this motherfucker has women on his goddamn panel. Make that make sense. How the fuck? You saying that you don't listen to women, right? You don't believe in women. Well, you have women on your goddamn panels. How do you think these women feel?
You know what? Come to think of it, he's got a point. Got to take all the women off. Oh,
don't be mad at me that I noticed your gay.
Got so much hair without us.
Yep. I think what you just.
Solid Snake. I can't do that. You have to talk to John. I don't have access to the YouTube settings, so only John can do that. Anyway, yeah. So this is what happened. This is what happened an hour ago. Here we go.
I get that. Maybe don't they call those like an Uncle Tom or something? But I don't know. What's up? What's good?
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Wait, I just want to know what I missed. What did she say that was racist? Nobody was explaining it to me in the chat.
I can play it for you.
Please do.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
It was pretty weird and kind of it took me.
Something was up. I knew something was up when yesterday I called her out on CTs because she was calling that one girl who either ended her life or got murdered. She immediately went to escort, and I said to her, I said, what would that have to do with anything? Why you as a woman would you go to immediately escort for this black woman? I just thought that was so weird, and she got mad at me for calling her out on it. I just was that's such a weird thing to do.
I think this is related to that moment. I think so. I'm not too sure because I don't know. I didn't watch what you are referring to. But here's the voice note. So she sent this to Imperious, and Imperious leaked all her messages pretty much.
Why do you guys keep sending it to her?
Right. Let me know if you can hear it. Hold on.
Okay, right.
No, 100%. Like, and it's this weaponization of some lame ass bullshit. Like, don't think that. I mean, don't you think it's easy for me to go viral as a fucking next Latina racist? Come on, bro. Let's be for real. And I'm so fucking sick and tired of having this fucking nigger word and these motherfuckers putting my back up against the wall when I never, ever, ever speak on them for shit. Roz came at the wrong time at the wrong motherfucking one. Great. My dad's a watching bunker. The dad's the most racist human being in life. He calls black people fucking assholes. Okay? So he'd be proud of me if I went viral for racism. Don't test me, bro. Don't test me. Fucking bullshit. And the only reason why I hold back and have respect for people like Andrea, I have respect for people like LG. You know what I'm saying? And I would hate to break their hearts because they're good girls. I'm not fucking racist, but I can't stand a fucking nigger, bro.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I'll give Imperious this one thing. Shout out for Imperious for doing the dirty work, even though it's so crazy to me because why would you trust him out of all people to like go around just saying that? Like that's so crazy. Like, if you want to say it, I guess you can say it, right? But like
Right.
she got to CTs and she was like, I'm not a racist. I didn't hear that. That is fucking crazy. And isn't she in her 50s? Come on.
I think she's close. Yeah, she's close to being at that age.
What are we doing?
You know what it is, Mooncakes? I think it's because they're at their age. Like they grew up in a different time where, you know, the things that they say and do wasn't going to be online. Like they grew up when they were in high school and college, they could just say and do whatever they wanted and without any consequences. So she grew up, you know, with that mentality. But now that our people like RLM are online at that age, they're starting to see that like, no, this is not okay. Like this is what the youth is fighting for. People that are young are not going to rock with people like RLM.
No,
what? Like, let me tell you something, in case if people knew in my real life that I was ever friends with someone like that, I would be like kind of like looked at sideways. I would be like, what are you doing, Antoine? Troy, my real name is Troy. So they'd be like, Troy, are you okay? Like, why the fuck are you fucking with someone like that? That's trash. That's trash behavior. And this is what I'm noticing. I've entered myself in this like realm of YouTube of people that are kind of grown, but still don't have like this understanding of the things that they're saying. Yeah. And
no,
the repercussions.
She knows. No, she. Let me tell you, that's what
she's saying this to. She's saying this to Imperious
because she thinks that for some reason. I don't know if she's getting money from Imperious. Maybe they got some deal on the table. She's getting money, and they're best friends somehow. But like, I genuinely believe that like she was bragging about it because in her mind, right, as a quote unquote Latina, she's somehow better or like perceived as like or having more value than like black people, right? Or let's just say black women in general. And I knew it, Entwine. As soon as she was,
she said her dad would be proud. She said she was. Yeah. This is something that's commendable in her family.
That doesn't surprise me because don't forget that community is also very racist. Let's just call it what it is, right?
So that's Entwine the Mind. If you are not part of the whole RLM Gospel of Bob, that's why Dead Man should be covering this stuff. Yeah. She's married. She'll talk about it. That's why I'm playing this thing. She'll talk about it right now. She's married. She got a shotgun wedding in Vegas. Yeah, with her simp.
Is that she perceives herself, but like, you know what? Now I don't feel bad about Art making fun of her for having no hair and the alopecia. Art, go harder. Like, I don't give a fuck. She is wearing wigs. Get her ass. Her ass.
Yo, at this point, like, okay, so I feel like Ert's onto something because look, not only did she come out as like a closeted racist, like not only that, but Imperious showed me messages of her talking shit about me, and so I don't feel bad anymore. Like she told me, and I quote, she told Imperious that so like I'm not gonna hold back after this. Like I'm just not. She said, "Fuck them all, imp. Light a match and burn these fucking subhumans. I can't with the flippy floppy. I can't with the flippy floppy. I simp for Lenny and Imperious only." And then she put this. This is her remarks towards me. "Half human demon cave dwellers like Entwine disappointed me with his dumbass stream. I get why you are where you are after all these years. These motherfuckers shouldn't be allowed to breathe the same oxygen as me. Should have all been aborted." Oh,
what the fuck did you do to deserve that?
I mean, we beefed back then, but I thought we patched it up, and I made her intro to her damn YouTube channel. I supported her. I never I didn't get in between her and the Ert drama. I actually
you stayed out of it.
Yeah, I stayed out of it because they were both my friends, and they actually both still got angry with me that I did that. They were both, even Ert came at me and was like, "Oh, I feel some type of way because you don't, you know." I do want to say something, Mooncakes. Imperious is in the back. I won't let him up unless.
No, that's fine. I mean, Imperious. Okay. I'm not terrified shaking my boots of Imperious. He can say whatever he wants.
Why would you have me sitting in back, you little ass pirate? Like, what are you doing?
Me and Mooncakes are having a back and forth, and I know how you interrupt and stuff.
I heard you married one of your simps. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. Are you here to say congratulations?
Is it the one in Arizona?
Vegas, but yeah, close.
Yeah, that one. Whatever. That geek. Oh, Jesus. But that's gonna really be successful. Jesus Christ. Like, let me. This is my theory about it. My theory is is that you got caught up in all this drama, you got caught up in all this nonsense, and like you're like, oh shit, I'm getting old, I gotta fucking hook onto somebody, and this guy'll simp for you and just take care of you. He's got a place already, so you just sit in bed and
Sit in bed and like what? Just like chill.
just sit there and play online all day. And he doesn't even want sex either. He's a fucking queer. Wait, she's got the perfect fucking play. No, she did the perfect thing. She married a simp who's too scared, even when he's married to her, to ask her to get a blowjob.
Wait,
She just said,
Thank you, Mariah.
you're married?
Yeah, I'm married. I'm married now.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, Vegas wedding. Very nice man.
it's the Britney Spears wedding.
Mooncakes. If you would have told me you were in Vegas, I would have so I have friends out there. It would have been such a turn up. Hell yeah! If you're ever in Vegas,
I'm leaving in a couple of days.
oh, you're still there?
Yeah, I have to leave in a couple of days. I'm going back to work, and I'm gonna focus on that. And then he's gonna move to Canada. Thank you, Mariah. And we're gonna figure that out and get a place in Canada.
He's gonna sell his house and move?
Yeah.
Good God, you really got this simp, dude. Oh my God, you really
We're gonna
cashed your
buy
chips on this.
buy property in Canada, and I'm hoping to like build a little farmhouse, do something a little bit more modern.
That poor guy, dude. Wait till you dump his ass and he is left with nothing and he's in another country. Oh, this is gonna be real great content. This is gonna be great.
Wait, Imperious, what? Like, what did you, what?
No, she's gonna dump his ass, divorce him, then he's gonna be a citizen. He's not gonna be a citizen of the country, so they're gonna deport his ass. Because Canada, people think it's all nice and no. You go illegal in your Canada, they'll deport your fucking ass tomorrow. They don't have like that process shit.
Once you get married, you have to, I think, stay married for at least a year. So he'll have.
That's what I'm saying. You'll divorce him in about 8 months, take the property, you'll get to possess it while he's in America trying to fight for it, and then you can sell it. Well, you know, this is what I'm saying. Like, dude, I know what goes on.
Imperious is just giving her, like, what the fuck? Why are you giving her advice for this shit? God damn! Oh man, this guy is gonna get divorce raped in 8 months in Canada. Oh, anyway. Well, I mean, I don't know yet. It could. Yeah, semiconductors could. I don't know. We have to wait for earnings though, right? We only got 2 semiconductor earnings this week. Kind of like they went down, but then they pumped up Intel, AMD, Broadcom to like stop it from doing anything because the semiconductors should have went down yesterday or 2 days ago, depending on your time zone. So I'm kind of like on the fence. I think software has a better chance of going up longer into June. Semiconductors could just go back down, keep going sideways into June. And then when August rolls around, then everything goes back down. Okay? But if semiconductors does go up, software does go up, you know what? Everybody's going to be chasing the NASDAQ like crazy. NASDAQ would just go way higher into June, July, and then they'll make a bigger trap for October, November, into midterms. So if that happens, short the shit out of the market in July, August. Okay? But if semiconductors goes back down and software goes back up, then we're just going sideways again. The whole market, the whole S&P 500 is just going to go sideways, continue sideways. So basically we're going 7,000 right where we're at right now. Go a little bit higher and then go back down to like 6,800, go back up to 7,000, go back down to 6,800. We're just going to bounce over there. We could just bounce below 6,800 and then maybe the range will be wider, but I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. So it's hard to tell because you're basically relying on earnings, which I don't want to predict. So yeah, that's kind of the problem. So anyhow, yeah, I don't know about the stock market, but hoes are very inflated. So 304s, highly overvalued. Okay, the prices of hoes are very high right now, very high. So let's look at what the NASDAQ 100 forward PE ratio is. So let's look at the NASDAQ. We're not talking about hoes anymore. 22.4x. Warren Buffett is not buying that. Okay, it has to be 15 or less. Warren Buffett ain't buying that shit. And before we went down from October, it was near 28. So 28x for the forward price to earnings ratio. So even though like we went below what it is like in the 10-year average of 22. Like, so from COVID, right, we're cheap. So compared to like what we've had since COVID, it's quote unquote cheap. But for Warren Buffett, it's like, nah, that ain't cheap. But it's cheap enough for best time to make money, okay? Because bubbles go up fast, right? So that's why you see hoe inflation. All the simps come out and they want to get a hoe. That's why they're willing to pay. That's why bubbles are great to make money. So if you're a pimp, you're making a lot of money right now. Okay, so investors believing the stock market is overvalued plunges to the lowest level in more than 7 years. So the retail trader, the retail investor, they think everything's cheap right now. They think everything is cheap. Okay, so that's why bubbles are so good. You can, like, even though everything is overvalued, this thing will just go up like 100% more. Just cause. Why not? If everyone thinks it's cheap and they can buy it, they'll push that stock up higher. So, yeah, bubbles are a great time to make money. This is going to be a 1990s event all over again. Another .com. Love it. AI. Anything with AI is going up. Have you heard about the news? Like, there were like 2-3 companies that changed their whole company into AI. Like, there was a shoe company that said, like, we're doing AI now, and it jumped up 400% like 2 days ago. I was like, what? So all you gotta do is change the name of your company, change your stock ticker. You just put AI in it, and people will just automatically buy it. That's exactly what happened in the .com bubble. Any company was just sticking .com on their name. They just start talking .com on their name, and then the stock would just rally like 1,000% in a month. It's the same thing happening again. And that's why I tell you, technical analysis works. Technical analysis works only because human psychology always is the same. If human psychology still works the same way it does, I can just look at a chart, understand what's going on, and trade it. So I don't need to look at fundamentals anymore. People are stupid. They don't care. They're not rational. They're not going like what's the PE ratio of this company? Oh, what's the growth of sales to earnings, and what's the cash flow? They don't care. They just see AI and they buy it like monkeys. And that's how you make money. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, man. Crash is gonna be wild. Yeah, Crash will be wild. It won't happen now yet though. So we might as well have to get it. Yeah. I mean, maybe tomorrow I'll play some Stanley Druckenmiller. Stanley Druckenmiller actually bought the bubble, and he got burnt. And he shorted too early too. He wanted to short it too. He shorted early. He got burnt. Timing is the problem. Timing is always the problem. And that's why a lot of people don't bother playing the game, because they're like, I can't time it. I don't bother trying, whatever. So hopefully in this show, I give you some tips of how you would probably try to time it. And now that we got cycles, I have the DeMark stuff. I have way more advanced things than what I had before when it was like 2018. And so, hopefully one of you guys listen to what I say, and then you can take it further, because I think once you have this stuff and then you have the AI too to try to help you analyze it, you can combine everything together. You got fundamentals. Okay, AI can give you fundamentals now. You can just go to any search engine or ChatGPT or Grok, and you go analyze these companies for me. Tell me what the price to whatever ratios are. Compare everything to the other companies in their group. Blah blah blah. So you have the fundamentals locked down. Then you have the charts locked down. Then you have the cycles locked down. Once you have everything together, and you understand there's psychology to it. There's fundamentals to this game. There's repeating patterns. There's patterns in this game. Once you understand everything together, you can outperform a lot of people without having to have insider trading, too much mathematical knowledge. You don't need to be a quant anymore, you know, honestly. A lot of people want to be quants, and that requires way too much mathematics. And I think a lot of people already can game that system well with the options and all that. So you're probably not going to beat a lot of people in that game. Okay, let me end it with this. Actually, let me read this article. How about that? Let me read this article first, and I can continue tomorrow. So I'll come back to this, the whole squares trade, like the whole this stuff, right? We'll continue on this. This is exactly why, you know, people have a hard time. But it's tough. It's tough because it's all subjective. All this stuff is subjective, and that's why when we do the DeMark thing, hopefully it'll be easier. Anyway, let me see what it is. Okay, so the title of the stream was when does the tide turn, right? When does the tide turn? So Gandalf, right, in the Lord of the Rings. I think this quote was in the movie too. So it's like, I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. Okay, spoilers, Gandalf comes back. He's not dead. So he becomes Gandalf the Grey, becomes Gandalf the White. Okay? Now, that's an important thing in that movie, because you have to remember, Gandalf was in Middle-earth for like thousands of years. I guess 1,000 years. I don't know. So how do I know when Sauron is going to lose? Because if I was bullish on Sauron, I would be bullish on Sauron from this time up to a certain time, right? And then now I have to be bearish on Sauron. What is that? So I think that's why when you look at things like cyclically, everything has emotion, right? You have Old Testament God, and then you have New Testament God. They're two different gods, right? Or is it the same God with a different side? Because now we're in a different area. So we have to look at the stock market the same way. You are in a different era, right? You had the dot-com era. You had then the George Bush, the second era, right? And that at that time, it wasn't any more stock market. It was more real estate, gold, silver, oil. And then we entered into the GFC, post-GFC era, where we had zero interest rates, okay, 0% interest. And then we had a different era of stock market. That's when you see everything going towards semiconductors, right? And big tech. So that was this era. This era is about to end. Is this the end of the era? Where are we going now? So in the book, the last book, right, Return of the King. So Gandalf told the hobbits, I'm leaving you guys. So let's see, blah blah blah. What was the quote? What was the quote? Let's see. I am not coming to the Shire. You must settle its affairs yourself. That is what you have been trained for. Do you not yet understand? My time is over. It is no longer my task to set things to rights, nor to help folk to do so. So Gandalf is like, peace out, I'm retiring. So that's a different era, right? So we have now an era without the elves, without Gandalf, no more wizards. Okay, we're in a different era, right? So you can see that with like the Bible too, right? You have era of miracles. You have the miracle era. You have God directly interfering with the affairs of humans, right? God comes in, smites a bunch of people. Oh, Edomites, smite them. Right? That era is over. There's no more smiting. God has left the building. He gave you his son, and then he's out. Peace out. That's Gandalf. Peace out. I leave you. I'll come back some other time. So this is the era we're in, right? So that's why when you look at the stock market, the same thing. It's just eras, different things. You have to adapt. If you don't adapt, you're going to be in big trouble. So we're about to enter into an era where oil will stay high. Inflation will stay high. Okay? Commodities will stay high. Food prices will stay high. That's what I'm thinking. We're going to be entering a different era where there's no globalization helping you. Okay? So we have to prepare for that. Okay, anyhow. Let's see. Let me read this thing. I don't know if I got enough time here. What else? We got 14 minutes. Okay. Hims and Hers stocks rises 14% as FDA schedules peptide compound review. All right. So FDA has changed its rules for peptides. So clavicular, wants to do peptides and all that. You see that? You think clavicular was there not on purpose? Okay, so I'm playing this crap in the background here, right? So this is like a joke song or something. So this is the Zoomer anthem. And it's talking peptides and stuff. So I don't know. I guess all the Zoomers are into peptides. So I think I should be bullish on peptides right now, right? So yeah. So clavicular is probably a plant by some pharmaceutical company. Okay, the Ozempic is definitely, some people have been using to plant this crap to sell to people. Peptides are going to be the next thing. We're going to have a new era of, opioids was like the previous era. We're leaving the era of opioids, and now we're entering the era of Ozempic and peptides and whatever the hell clavicular was on before he OD'd several days ago. So this is what we're doing now. All right. So in January 23rd, the committee will review BPC 157 KPV TB-500 and MOTS-C amyldeltide Cmax and apitolon are slated for July 24th. A second follow-up session addressing 5 more peptides is expected before February 2027. All right, guys. Peptides. Bullish on peptides. Yeah, it's the turn of the peptides. You see OpenAI going to work with Moderna to produce... Oh, I told you to get into Moderna. I knew it. Moderna was also a plant. Moderna... Okay, the vaccine for COVID was just to test the technology, the mRNA. mRNA now can inject cancer-curing substances. That's what they wanted to do. It was the mechanism to inject into your cells something that would kill cancer. That was the main goal. It wasn't COVID. COVID was just the excuse to get it approved faster, get it tested faster. Like they had free guinea pigs during COVID for mRNA technology. Now that they got it completed, here we go, baby. Oh man, we're gonna have humans that live forever. That's the future, bro. Maybe, hopefully, I live long enough I could transfer my consciousness into a robot mind. But if not, then I'm probably gonna be all hyped up on anti-cancer drugs and all that kind of shit. Let's see. I look the 2 companies. I'll look them up. Okay, cool. Yep. So yeah, we're entering interesting times. Very interesting times indeed. So Hims was a stock I recommended before. So let me get this off. And put back. So Hims was a good stock for a little while, but it hasn't been good last year, so I didn't care about it anymore. So here's Hims, okay? So Hims was really nice from 2023, but I think I only got into it in 2024. it was doing this move here. So probably September, I guess. And then you see this last big push up, this crazy move up into January, February. Yeah, I got out during this last bit of move here. This was crazy. And after that, it was like zigzag, zigzag. Now it puked and went below this huge range, 26 and 68. And then now you see this. Look at what it's doing. So it had earnings, okay, and then it pumped like 2 weeks later on some news. I forgot what the news was. Pulled back, okay, into this gap. So you see this huge gap here. Okay, let me just zoom in this thing. See this gap here? Let me draw this. So I was watching it. I wasn't playing it, but I was watching it. So yeah, this gap here, you see that? Get the again opacity down. Okay. Oh man, I gotta do it this way. Come on. Okay, yeah, you see that? It retested it, and then this week it started pumping again. And so we got this news, it kept pumping. So this is pretty good. Pretty good. I like this. And it broke this weekly moving average. So I'm liking this. So let's see what the market does. If this thing pulls back just below 24, okay, I'm going to be watching this to buy. I'll buy this again. And then let's see if it can go up to like 38, 40 later on this year. So yeah, this one will be on there too now. So HIMS is back on the list. So HIMS, mRNA, yeah, Moderna, yeah, this is on the list. Okay. So this looks good. This is perfect. This is a perfect build up here. Yeah, we're going back to 168, baby. Yeah. So there we go. Perfect. MSTR, dude. Bitcoin needs to pump. And the thing is, if I was gonna do Bitcoin now, I'm not gonna do MSTR. Forget it. I'd rather do HUT. Okay, I'm going back into HUT again. HUT is good. HUT, Core Z. Okay, Core Z or IREN. Okay, and IREN. Okay, these three. All right, because the reason why is because those three have AI too. So it's not only Bitcoin, it has AI. So MSTR, MicroStrategies only does Bitcoin. They never shifted to AI. Michael Saylor is always late, man. He's like, he gets into Bitcoin when it's late. Now Bitcoin and crypto is like now passe. Like everyone wants AI now. So anything with AI on it is the one that pumps. Crypto out. Crypto is the last 4 or 5 years of hype. Now it's AI. So that's it. And then AI will be done, and then everybody's going to space stocks now, right? Space will be next. Then quantum computing. There's gonna be new hypes coming down the line in the next couple of years. So space will be next. Yeah. Oh, okay. Amgen, I heard Amgen. Yeah. Thermo Fisher Scientific. Yeah, I heard of them. Allen, I haven't heard. Okay, I'll look those up. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look at healthcare stocks. I've started looking at them. So Moderna has been my first pick. Yeah, TMO. Yeah, I know the ticker for them. Yeah, I played it during COVID. Yeah, because they were making all the needles and all the little things for everything. Yeah. Yeah, Amgen's a big component of the biotech. Yeah, Amgen's right here. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll see. Seems like it's been AI. Yeah, but it's different kinds of AI, right? First, they were like NVIDIA. Then it starts spreading out to everything else in the semiconductors. Then it's like, okay, what about software? Where's the software at? Well, they tried to get into software early. They got burnt. Now everybody's going to software again. That's why I'm thinking it's going to happen, software, right? And then you have the memory too. Memory happened late last year into now. And then optical. Optical is getting a lot of hype. So they're looking for more optical companies. It's not just Lumentum. They're going to go and look at other things. Lumentum has been a skyrocket, right? So what kind of AI are we talking about? And then once they're done with that, they're going to look at energy, right? So Bloom Energy got pumped, okay, like this week or last week. See? So energy. So we got to look at nuclear energy, natural gas energy. AI is a lot broader because they require data centers. AI is not just software. That's the problem. And then they're going to go into quantum next and space. Oh my God, there's too much hype everywhere. DNA is the one I remember for biotech. Yeah, I remember that one. I think it was Ginkgo Bioworks, right? Yeah, Ginkgo Bioworks. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, shit. There are a lot of like biotech companies that try to do the AI. RX was another one. Yeah, shit. I used to play this when it went below like 5 or 6, and then I would just sell it when it went back to 15. It did that a couple times. It tried to do that again, like in the 2024, and then it failed. And then after that, it got stuck. It got stuck down here. I was like, what? Oh my God, this thing ain't going nowhere anymore. It's screwed up. Oh, this doesn't work. The whole like $5 to $15 trade doesn't work anymore. Oh well. So I've been waiting to see what it does when it got lower and lower. So yeah, there's a lot of companies that are doing this. Next week, don't know. Ceasefire will end next week, right? Tuesday. So I'm gonna have to wait and see. All right, guys. There'll be a Boyd talk for Universal Jones Saturday. What was it? Let me see. April 18th. Okay, April 18th. So we got Saturday. All right. So check that out. I'll probably show up on panel. Who knows what's going to happen. We're going to talk about Boyd. Okay, guys. There you go. 5:30 Eastern. All right, so that means 4:30 Central. So be sure to check that out. I'll be seeing you then. So yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I wanted to talk about scams a little bit, but I don't think I have time. I'll have to save that for another time. Because oh, here's another stock, Airs, a test system. Oh, I'll have to leave that for later. Oh, well, yeah, I want to talk about that one next. That one's pumping too, right? I mentioned it a little bit. I'll talk about it later. Yeah. So. Yeah, so let me see. Yeah, I wanted to mention the scams, but I have to save that for later. Because there's a lot of scams going on right now outside the Somali stuff. Yeah, UJ covered the Somali stuff. Universal did. And, you know, one of the things with the end of Empire, we're coming up to the 250th birthday of America, right? 250th birthday of America. So I think when we look at how like the money is debased, right? The Roman Empire debases its currency. You see a lot of scams happening. That's really the signs that things are gonna go bad. Yeah. Oh, playlist for YouTube. Yeah, I have to get on that. So yeah, I'll have to get on that on my channel then. Yeah, but that's about it. So that's why the thumbnail was what it is. So that's the course of history, paintings. Let me see if I can find that Course of Empire. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's America's final season. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll have to talk about it tomorrow. Okay. All right. So I got all my stuff for tomorrow then. Yeah, so this will be what we'll be covering tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be covering this tomorrow. The Course of Empire paintings. Okay, yeah. You got these paintings here. The Savage State, Pastoral State, Consummation, Destruction, Desolation. Oh, this will be fun. Okay, but I'll go over the scams. We gotta go over the scams. And then we'll be doing that. Oh man, there's just too much stuff. Oh my god, we'll have to cover all that. But anyway, all right, guys. Good night. Good night. Hopefully somebody does the Boyd stuff because I don't want to be doing this Boyd stuff. Where's Dead Man? Stop babysitting your kids. Gotta do this. God damn. Anyhow. All right, see you on Universal's panel. It'll be Saturday. Techno dystopian future looking bright. Yeah, for sure. Nighty night.